And we're live. Hello, everybody. And of course, YouTube starts right off complaining about the audio stream bit rate. I have no idea why, but it seems happy enough for the moment. How's everybody doing? All five of you. It's a wonderful Friday in East Tennessee. Good day to run a Cavendish experiment, I think. Went through all the data last night with the tracker software, and I don't know, we got a very low, comparatively low deflection in that test series yesterday for whatever reason. I'll not even bother to try to take a guess at what might have been going on, but day before yesterday, G calculated came out to 6.68, so very close. Yesterday, it came out at like 5.8. I don't know. Crazy things happen. That's why we run more than one test. So hello, Carl Edwards. Hello, Gord. Hello to, who else is in here? Hey, Judy and Brian Newton. Welcome. Glad to see you guys. So I think what we'll do is reverse it from yesterday. That we had the weights in the east position. Today we're gonna have them in the west position. So we'll start sort of backwards from what we did yesterday. Hello, Mark 10. And Jay McLeod, how are you? So I think let's not waste any time. Let me just go move these things and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, Judy. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I accidentally left OBS on. It was still streaming, but I turned off the live stream, and for some reason or the other, it made a 12-hour video, a 12-hour stream out of it, which I switched, by the way, to unlisted this morning just because it's worthless. What it does do, though, is show you how stable that the balance actually is. You get to see it sit there and do absolutely nothing for an entire 12 hours. But shout out to Paul Reap for a super chat for $5. Thanks, Paul. I really appreciate it. Let me go move these things and we'll get started. I bumped the case just slightly. Hopefully it wasn't enough to upset anything. I can see it just a little bit. Not bad though, just a mistake. Um, no, Carl, the Discord's not running. Just the live stream. And according to YouTube, the stream condition is excellent. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. Video's choppy, huh? Beats me. Should be okay, but then again, who knows? So which way is this thing going to go? It's going to go counterclockwise. So it should be moving the laser to the left, and the balance will be moving to the right, and that appears to be what's happening. So to get good solid oscillations on it, rather than trying to just start at the neutral position, I found out that it was better just to go from neutral to one resting position, let it sit there until it reaches maximum deflection, and then you can swap to the opposite position for the weights, and you get much better oscillation out of it that way. So we'll just keep an eye on this thing for should take it about 8 minutes as usual. And in 8 minutes time, it'll end up over here somewhere. About where the white circle, once you guys can see the white circle. Got the time delay, time lag. There goes the white circle. Let's see, Paul, we need to make you a moderator. There you go. You're in great shape now. Give it a push. No, Carl can't give it a push. No pushing. Mrs. Blue's out grocery shopping, so at some point she'll be back here, and that means the overhead door is going to go up, and that means we might get a little bit of a disturbance from that, but we'll just have to live with it. So what's been going on? In the last 24 hours, has anything significant happened? Trying to think. Well, Whitsitt has been in Washington spewing his nonsense. Let's see, I think I've seen him at the White House. He's been at the Lincoln Memorial, maybe. I don't know where all. I'm surprised they haven't arrested the fool yet. I won't be watching the chat for a second. I want to watch the laser over here on OBS and find that peak. can set the ever important egg timer. Yeah, so I watched a little bit of Witshead, and I watched a little piece that Quantum Eraser did on me, as usual. Quantum Eraser is like that ex-girlfriend that just can't seem to let go. Every time I turn around, he's doing a hit piece on me. I think it really aggravates him that I don't respond to any of them. Hell, why should I? He's irrelevant. Hello, Chris Durham. How you doing? Okay, we got a blue marble observer, and I can see that thing, only I can't read the damn name because of the way it displays on this black screen on the panel. It's a green box with blue lettering in it, and it's indecipherable. So. Carl says I'm the sand in QE's bikini, huh? Yeah, he does seem to have a little sand in his whatever, doesn't he? So I'm just watching the laser. I think we found the peak or the extreme at around 171, something like that. We'll call it 1212, 171. So I'll start that timer. We'll see how close we are. 2.3 division deflection if you're looking at the vernier. And it's definitely moving the other direction. So now I'm going to go reverse the weights, and we'll get this thing going. So there we go. In fact, I'll go back over to YouTube and I'll get to watch myself. Yeah, I missed. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. That is a little choppy. I don't know why. Hello, Eric. Yeah, let's see who all else is out there. Hello, Brian. Good to see you. Carl says my PC is moody. Yeah, it might be. Hello, Mystery 13. Welcome. Looks like you haven't been here before, so we'll make you blue. All right, what's that damn red dot doing? Oh, look. We won't need this white one anymore, so we'll move it up here somewhere. I don't know, maybe up there someplace. Or maybe up there. Let's see if it goes up that high. You never know. Hello, Golf Foxtrot. Correct. No facepalm protection necessary. Sam Jones. I don't know how correct my accent is, buddy. Correct enough for Eastern Tennessee, I suppose. It's sort of a mixture of posh Alabama and East Tennessee hillbilly. "23 people watching. Thanks for joining, everybody." Last time I looked at Whitsett, he was getting 70 people or so watching him. Now that's pretty sad. He only gets 70, I get 25 to come here and watch a red dot do basically nothing. Yeah, the red dot's moving. Let's see how good a guess I made. When this comes to an end, we got about 2 more minutes before it reaches the theoretical end of this extreme on this end of the oscillation. I think I'll turn Discord on here in a minute. Yes, Sam. Let's light this dumpster fire and absolutely irritate some flurfers. Golf Foxtrot, you be careful. You better check and make sure there's a pressure gradient before you go up there. You're in a world of hurt without that altimeter, buddy. let's see, I had guessed it about 258, but it's not going to quite make that, I don't think. So let's adjust the white circle. And I think that was it. So instead of 258, it was 256. I didn't miss by too much. If I do this for a really long time, I might get good at it. You never know. All right, back in just a sec. Okay, I'm back. And let me see if I can get Discord up and operating. I ran it some yesterday and it didn't really seem to have any particular effect on the stream. Let's see what it does today. Okay, so far so good. Pressure and temperature are the same thing. C4. How are you? No, they're not. You're just being a troublemaker again. Hello, Aussie Globehead. So anybody wants to hop in Discord, feel free. We can talk about gas pressure. I really like talking about gas pressure. In spite of what the flurfs want to maintain, there is no requirement for a container to have gas pressure. That's just stupid. Containers don't cause gas pressure. Now, if you would like to have a gas pressure that is different from the atmospheric pressure you happen to be in, then yes, you need a container for that. But we need nothing other than gravitational acceleration to generate the pressure we're sitting in right now. And as I have said many times, I challenge Flat Earth to come up with a single citation that says you cannot have gas pressure without a container. They can't do it because that does not exist. All you need is a surface, and it doesn't even have to be a physical surface. It can be a notional surface for gas molecules to strike, and you will have gas pressure. We've got it all around us right now. There is no container. But the flirts don't want to give it up. And the argument is purely semantic, really. And Quantum Eraser did a thing on me about that yesterday, but it's just bullshit. He has no idea what he's talking about. It's, as usual, one of the little games they play. Let's see, we've got about a minute and a half to go. I'm sure the little red dot is still moving this direction. We started from about 171, so it's going to come back down here someplace. We'll know in a minute. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not watching the chat. I'm over here tracking a very slowly moving target. So that looks about it, 175, something like that. Reset my irritating beeper. That's a good question, Golf Foxtrot. If the pressure was the same all the way up, why do we have altitude records? Don't know. Wouldn't seem to make any difference, would it? Hello, Chris Holmes. See you out there. Yeah, somebody asked about magnetics. Who said something about that? Look back up here. C4. Yes, I am seeing QE and Nathan lied. Yeah, absolutely they did. Well, I don't see the comment I was looking for. Somebody asked something about whether we could see this attraction as magnetic. Well, if it was if it was something other than a diamagnetic material that we're dealing with, perhaps, but it's not. It's lead. It is not magnetic. It's diamagnetic, and it won't exhibit any magnetic properties unless you put it in a very strong magnetic field to begin with, and then it's going to be opposite. So it would not be an attraction, it would be a repulsion. I think we have thoroughly ruled out magnetics as having anything to do with this. There's nothing down there in the vicinity of those lead masses that is magnetic at all. The lead isn't, the brass isn't. Clevis pin is stainless steel, and it's tiny anyway. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that magnetic stuff. There's a Discord link. Should be working. Citizen 9 says, tell that to Mr. Leakey. Right. You can't tell anything to Mr. Leakey. You should watch Where's Wally's latest video. They had some pretty good leaky on that one. $29 people watching. Hey, thanks, guys. Most excellent. Citizen 9 says you can't, I guess you can tell leaky stuff, huh? But he just forgets as soon as you do. He could learn this stuff if he wanted to, but you're probably not going to learn a whole lot while you're pacing around in your front yard, waving your cell phone at trees and stuff. He'll do things, he'll get a result, and then he doesn't understand what happened. And instead of taking the time to try to figure it out, he just moves on to some other goofy idea. Yeah, Gorg, that's correct. Altimeters are nothing but barometers. That's all they are. Very sensitive barometers. Very accurate, too. And they are literally measuring the pressure gradient we exist in. Thanks, C4. Thanks for the reminder out there. Yeah, doesn't cost anything. Just click the like button, or dislike button for that matter. I don't care. You don't have to like it. I'm going to do it anyway. So if any of you go over to Jim Panda's server at all, it appears that Jeremy, that super scientist from New York, has decided to leave the server for whatever reason. I guess he'll be hanging out at Brandon's place. So that's about 247 and a half. I don't know why I write all this stuff down. 1237, 247 and a half. I've got time lapse and YouTube video of it, but I just can't break the habit, I guess. Cavendish is actually the inventor of the banana. Barry, that's correct. Not Henry, but I think it was one of his cousins. Judy Bassett says, if I call the local airport and ask for the barometric pressure, will they give me the actual pressure or a pressure adjusted for altitude? Now they'll give you the barometric pressure. What they'll give you is the equivalent sea level pressure. That's what you'll get. The actual pressure at an airport, actual barometric pressure, will be unless the field is at sea level, the pressure is going to be the real pressure is going to be less than what they state it to be. But you need a way to set your altimeter. Altimeters are set to sea level pressure. So literally what they do is they have an altimeter just like the one you have in an aircraft. I'm talking about small fields now. And literally the way they used to do it anyway was you would simply set the altimeter for the field elevation, which you knew, and then read the pressure that the pressure window in the altimeter was indicating. Hello, Bob the Science Guy. Welcome, sir. I'm just having fun on a Friday afternoon, Bob. Cutting down some trees, huh, Bob? Yeah, you had one in the way the other night when you were trying to. I forgot which nebula you were trying to look at, but a little too low to the horizon. Ordered a whiteboard, huh? Yeah, Mystery 13. No, you do not need a container for gas pressure, for atmospheric pressure. You don't need one. You only need a container if you want pressure that's significantly different than the pressure that the atmosphere is at. Our atmosphere is held in place quite nicely by this gravity thing we are measuring right now. So it looks like we're showing about 177 at 12:45. Wonder where that puts the center of this thing. Hey, we got 33 people watching. Thanks, everybody. Glad to see you guys. Hello, Truth Nerds. Mr. Malort, see you up there too. If I'm missing people, I apologize. Moreland, who else have I missed? All kinds of people probably. I'm bouncing back and forth between YouTube and OBS screen so I can track the little red dot. As I told you guys earlier, Mrs. Blue is out grocery shopping, so any minute now I expect the overhead door to go up. But hopefully that won't have much of an effect on the experiment today. Doesn't change anything very much. We'll have enough oscillations to make sense out of it, I think. We've had 2 complete oscillation periods at this point. Those are the little random errors that creep into any experiment, and there's nothing you can do about them other than just recognize that it could have happened. And that's the reason why we make lots of measurements. The systematic stuff's always there, so we can account for that. Now the stream's still holding up pretty well. At least it seems to be. So we'll see what happens as the afternoon wears on and on and on. So tell me some good stuff in the chat. What brand new proofs of Earth being flat has anybody seen? Surely there must be some solid proof. Oops. Eggs are done. Probably driving all the dogs and cats crazy with my damn beeper. No, Eric, YouTube should not ban flat Earth videos. I think YouTube does the appropriate thing and points out that it is an archaic and somewhat idiotic idea, but as far as banning it goes, I wouldn't be in favor of that. Hell, if we start banning crazy ideas, our entire political system will collapse. Besides that, we need somebody to laugh at. And those fools are absolutely perfect for laughing. That's right, Brian. Where would we get our giggles if flat Earth were to be banned? I agree with that, Bob. They really shouldn't be allowed to call that what they talk about, science or technology. Or education. It's none of the above. How come this stream is not monetized? I think I'll fix that. No, it says it is. Oh, I guess I just had to refresh the page. Okay. Yeah, you guys sub to Bob's channel over there. It's I guess that's the Flat Moon channel, Bob. It's great. Bob does a wonderful job with that telescope, or those telescopes, I should say, that he has up there. I'm all kinds of jealous. I wish I had that ability. I'm just in a bad location physically. Too much light pollution and too many trees too close to me. And they happen to be somebody else's trees, so I can't cut the damn things down. Hey, Feral Cat. Good morning. Good to see you. Oh boy, got a new Blue Marble Observer. Another one I can't read, damn it. This black screen screws up everything. Maybe I should just open up another window. But before I do that, let's mark the position of the dreaded red dot. Okay. 1301 and 180. Hello, Neurosis. What's going on?
Anytime you can take someone's burdens, not only is it reward.
Sorry about that. Well, I can't read the name on the live stream any better than I could read it on the looking at it over here on the studio panel. Well, whoever joined, thank you. Type it in the chat so I can recognize you. Astro Rex. Now we get the first poor stream warning of the day, courtesy of YouTube. So if it starts buffering or something, you guys let me know and I'll shut off Discord. Although I'm not sure that's what does it. Yep. Time to go on mute for a minute. Okay, mission accomplished. And the stream's back showing good condition again. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 complete oscillations. This will be 3.5 here in another 36 seconds. So it looks like 237 at 1309. And let me have a look at the time lapse and see how many frames we've shot so far. So that's only about 200 to this point. Yeah, we'll let it go for a little while. So let's see, what have I been missing over here in the chat? Hey, Mark Rochelle, I don't think I've seen you yet today. You guys are right. I mean, Mad Mike was a poor man's version of Evel Knievel for sure. The same kind of damn rocket with the same sort of failure damn near killed Evel as well. Can't deploy the damn parachute as the thing leaves the launch vehicle. Mad Mike was not into it for for anything to do with flat Earth. It was just a publicity stunt to try to hype his daredevil crap. That's all. He's not doing anything he can't do with a weather balloon. In fact, he was never going to get anywhere close to what he could do with a weather balloon. How do you do your name there? Is it the Black 01? My grandson is learning how to use old Commodore 60. Yeah, you're right. He will never know the agony, and I do know the agony of dropping a box of punch cards. Oh my God. You can spend all day trying to put that mess back together. We were running I had a job as a co-op with the local utility, and we had a pair of IBM 365s, and running Fortran programs. Actually running it was a model of power distribution systems for cities, looking at potential or projected load growth and trying to figure out where to put new substations and when feeders would need to be upgraded and all that kind of stuff. And everybody was doing basically the same stuff. You just depended on, the only difference was the guy next to me had different cities than the ones I worked on. But it was always fairly funny to walk in with one punch card and just hold it up and say, anybody know where this came from? You could get some very irritated looks out of people. Say something else, Gord. Let me see if I can hear you.
Hello, Blue Marble.
Yeah, there you are. I hear you.
Hello, Blue Marble Science. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Just 1 second. I've got to reset this timer. There we go.
I'm relatively fine for my situation.
Where are you? Where do you come from?
I'm out of the region North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany.
Oh, okay. I've traveled a good bit around Germany. I used to do quite a bit of travel over in, especially around the Cologne area. Cologne, Berchtesgadenbach, those places. Really enjoyed it too.
Oh yes, that's nice.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah, we had business relationships, my company and some German firms over there. I miss that. I miss that travel. I really do. Really miss the beer.
I drink not so much beer, roughly 12 bottles a year.
Let me say hello to FE Peer Review out in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Join in anytime you feel like it. I'll put a link in the chat again for the Discord. If anybody else wants to hop in here with us, feel free. We're just watching a little red dot move around. So you pronounce your name Gorg, is that correct?
It's pronounced Georg.
Georg, okay, got it.
And my family name is Hannes, like Johannes Kepler, without the Joe.
Okay.
And I don't feel comfortable at the moment. Because it's the first time that I talk to someone that's public all over the world. Yes, it's a premiere for me.
Well, good. Excellent.
And the circumstance that I'm an autist doesn't make it better.
Have you been following this this Cavendish adventure I've been on for the last year or so?
I think I've seen most of it.
Yeah, okay. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yes, and it was a lot of work.
I think there is a lot of work involved. That's a fact. I think we've all learned something though. Yeah, that's the idea, right? As long as we're learning something, we're not wasting our time.
That's exactly it.
Arguing with people about the shape of the earth is a waste of time, but doing something like like Cavendish is not a waste of time. You're going to learn something every time you do it.
Yes, and we know since 4,000 years now that the Earth is a globe.
Now, of course. How could it be anything
There's
but that?
nothing to learn.
Yeah, it's just silly that people actually persist thinking that the Earth could be anything other than spherical in shape, or almost spherical.
Mm. Th- that's right, and we have to think about another thing. Curvature is something that we can measure,
Absolutely.
and to be flat means that curvature has to be exactly zero.
And it isn't.
And we measure a curvature that's a small number, but it's different from zero. Therefore, it can't be flat.
That's exactly right. Well, the people that say otherwise are simply science deniers. A lot of them have a religious belief that tells them that they think they read something in the Bible that says it's flat, therefore it must be flat, which is just nonsense. And as you point out, we can measure it and have measured it many times, many
Yes.
different ways. You only need to look at some satellite photos that have been around for a very long time now, and you can see the entire Earth, and it is not flat.
A flat Earth would be a violation of thermodynamics, I think. Because each and every celestial object that has a greater mass than a minimal value has to form itself into a sphere. Every star is a sphere, every planet is a sphere. Why should Earth be something else?
That's right. Nothing else in the universe that we can observe ends up as a flat thing. And certainly anything the size, even, you only have to be 400 or 500 kilometers in size, and it will crush itself into a ball no matter what you do. We see that everywhere we're able to look. Nothing's flat. So it's just a silly discussion, really. Silly discussion caused by silly people.
Yes, really silly people. And some of them don't have the mental capabilities of a 3 or 4-year-old child. They understand physics way better than our special flat Earth friends.
That is absolutely true, Georg. Absolutely true.
Merci.
This is not a problem for small children to understand. You can take a 6-year-old boy deep sea fishing, and he can watch the buildings disappear as you leave headed out to the ocean, and he can watch them reappear from the top down as you get back close to the shoreline. How else do you explain that? You don't. I mean, it's so obvious. And when I first started thinking about doing this debunking stuff, Bob the science guy and I did an Eratosthenes experiment. He is almost on the same longitude I am, but he's about 500 miles north of me. And with 2 simultaneous observations of the sun angle, it cannot be anything but spherical at about the radius we say it is. FE peer review in the chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up, buddy. Come back anytime. Yeah, just common sense tells you. So I think I'm going to let this thing go through this extreme point and then back to the other end. And the next time I'm going to move the weights. And we'll see what kind of data we get. I see Mr. Malort in the chat says Jose's having a show today. He hasn't been on the last few days. I don't know if you visit his channel or not, Georg. Jose J.G. Gonzalez. Shout out, Jose. He does a pretty good live stream. Usually has some interesting characters show up.
I remember that I've visited his channel a few times, but that was nothing for me.
Yeah, it's a lot of arguments. It's well, it is into the arguing over what shape the Earth is, which is by definition, as we just talked about, a waste of time. But if you don't have anything else to do, some of it's kind of entertaining. Those people are funny to laugh at. Okay, so that's 185 that time. I'm writing data down, even though I'm making video of all of it. I just can't break myself of the habit of manually collecting data. Been doing this kind of stuff off and on all my entire life. Man, I would have killed for this kind of instrumentation back in the 80s. So do you work, Georg, or are you?
I have a disorder and I've lost my job roughly a year ago, and since then I have much time, nothing to do, but depression, and all I do is waiting that the time goes by.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's not too different from where I'm at. Hello, Mark Rochelle. Tusk, you're supposed to have on your oven mitts, buddy. Especially if you're hanging around flat earth channels. I thought I explained all that. Yeah, let's see. So when I get just past the extreme this time on this end, I'll swap the weights. And we'll make it vibrate around a different center and see what happens. Mark in the chat says he wore out his oven mitts watching my videos. Yeah, it's almost time to wiggle my independent variable here, Eric.
I think I leave the chat now.
You gonna leave me alone now, Georg? Don't leave me alone.
Yes, I'm so sorry for that, but it's enough for me.
Yeah, I understand.
Can't
Thank you
do
for.
it longer.
Whoops. Yeah, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. I see you in the chat all the time, and I keep wondering. I kept wanting to say Georg, but wasn't sure about the pronunciation. So it's good.
Yes, Germans pronunciate everything different than all the others do. Most things are pronounced really hard
Yeah,
and not as soft as English pronunciation or Dutch pronunciation is, or every Roman language like Italian, Spanish, French. That's all relatively soft, and German is hard
yeah, yeah. I noticed that.
with edges and corners and
Pardon me,
roughness.
pardon me, just 1 second. Let me go move these weights.
No problem.
There we go. That took care of that. So now we'll see what the oscillation does.
Finish. Super. Or not? What's going on here?
Don't know. What's happening? Hey, Truth Nerds for €5. Thank you. He says a German ship sends radio distress signal. Help, we are sinking. The British Coast Guard replies, interesting. What are you thinking about? That's terrible, Truth Nerds.
Yes. But I have to go. I can't do it any longer.
Well, yeah, again.
We will talk later, I think.
Sure, anytime. Anytime, you're more than welcome.
Good evening, good night, adios.
Okay.
Ciao.
Yeah. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, let's see where we are on the counter on the camera just for fun. This is great. Got a piece of pizza. Mrs. Blue brought pizza home. God, I love that woman. Or anybody else that'll bring me pizza. Judy Bassett, €7. Thank you, ma'am. Does the lab assistant ever come? Oh, yes, he does. In fact, he was trying to come out here a while ago. Eggs are done. Might have to invite him out in a little while. See if he wants to show his face. If he thinks there's pizza out here, I guarantee you he'll come. So that was about 126. Good. Now all we got to do is just keep doing this. This is pepperoni and Italian sausage. And for grocery store pizza, it's actually pretty good. So you don't like pizza, huh, Tusk? I like it. I just don't want it all that often, but once a month or so. Now, Tennessee, it's not Tennessee pizza. And I got to tell you something. Here in East Tennessee, we have got some damn good Italian, New York style and Chicago style pizzerias. I mean, really good. And very authentic because I've had pizza in all of those big cities and I know what it's supposed to taste like. This is good stuff. I forgot to start the timer the last time, so we're going to have to do it manually here. Let's see, what was the last time I wrote down was 1350, so we ought to be within about a minute of it right now. We'll find the peak. It's here somewhere. Two 228 and a half looks like about it. I'll start the timer right there and we'll see how it works out. 228 and a half. Okay. Mr. Otto Pants, hello. You are correct. We have good pizza in the U.S. It isn't all horrible little thin pieces of junk. Anything south of I-80 is not pizza, huh? Lake Michigan water, that's manly water. There's all kinds of stuff in that lake. What? Tennessee has the largest chess tournament in the world. Mr. Otto Pants. Where would that be? Mr. Cuddly. Yeah. A new pizza thin enough to be delivered by fax. I like that. The Opryland Resort Hotel. Okay. Hey, Dora. How are you? I have been by the Opryland Hotel many times. I've never stopped there. What's that called? The Briley Parkway or something like that. Takes off from I-40 and loops around the north side of Nashville. It's a good shortcut if you're headed, well, if you're headed north out of Nashville. What part of Tennessee did you visit, Barry? All of it? I hope you saw all of it. I don't like the western part of it. I like the eastern part of it. West Tennessee is just too damn flat to suit me. Yeah, you're talking about the Knoxville area, Maryville. That's just 15 miles south of where I live. Gatlinburg is a pretty place, but it's just kind of a pain in the ass with all the tourists and stuff. Sevierville is impossible to drive through. I've got traffic lights about every 100 feet. The other place is really just one big tourist trap anyway. But hey, some people really like it over there. I live on the west side of Knoxville. $136 and a half. I like it over here. It's a little bit hilly, but not too much. On the other hand, if I want to go to the mountains, I can be there in 45 minutes. Yeah, Mark, I do know all about Florida, and it is flat. Cuddly, you do have to have, if you want to demonstrate gravity, you've got to figure out a way to come up with some big balls. That is the truth. Mark, you say highest point's three. I think that 300-foot elevation in Florida is on top of a landfill too. I've been to the Netherlands, Dora. It is pretty flat. I give you that. Not level, yeah, but you'd have a hard time saying it's not level. It's, well, pretty flat. I've been to Kirchenhof. I've been to Duradam. I've traveled around in that part of the world a little bit. Kirchenhof is beautiful in April and May, I guess, when all the tulips and all the other flowers are blooming. Amsterdam's a fun place. Yeah, Dora, I'll tell you the story. This was about 1982, I think, 83 maybe. And we were doing I was working on a research project in conjunction with a German company just outside of Dusseldorf. And I had to be there for, I think, about 2 months, more or less. But at that time, my wife didn't have a job. We didn't have any kids, and there was no reason for her to stay at home. So we made a 6-week, 2-month-long vacation out of it. And we got to be really good friends with a couple of the guys I was working with, one guy in particular, and he and his wife were good enough to tour us around the northern end of Germany and up into the Netherlands. We went up there and spent a weekend. Stayed just outside of Amsterdam. But that's when I got to see the Kirchenhof and all that stuff. So yeah, that part of it was pleasure for sure. But it was the rest of the time, well, we would take off on the weekends and go do things, but that was one of the highlights, I think. We did leave for about 4 days and went over to England and traipsed around London and went to visit an old RAF Air Force base where my father had been stationed in World War II, stuff like that. So I've been all over the damn place. And enjoyed every bit of it too. Always liked going to Europe. It's not a really long trip. I mean, 8 or 10 hours or something like that. No real big deal. Yeah. Yeah, Dora. Yeah, I think he probably would have been very young back then. Hell, I was young back then. What am I talking about? Judy Bassett, have I ever been to Finland? No, I have not, Judy. We were, as ABB, we were tied up on the air pollution control equipment end of it with the old Flact company. Svenska Flaktfabriken, with headquarters in Växjö, or Vakwa as they pronounce it, Sweden, which is southern central Sweden. And gosh, I've been there countless times. And invariably to get there, you end up going through Copenhagen. So I've been in Denmark, I've been in Sweden. I spent a little time in Norway, in Oslo. Been there a few times, but never Finland. Couldn't figure out a reason, I guess. Well, the last time I was in Sweden, come to think of it, was about probably 2010. I was lucky in my life. I never really had to pay for pay for vacations. Seemed like the companies I worked for constantly wanted me to go take a vacation someplace or the other. Or a lot of the time what basically amounted to sort of a vacation. Of course, when a nice job came up, like in Honolulu or something, you think I got to go to that? Oh, no. Never needed to go there. But they just couldn't do without me in the middle of China, some damn place. What's going on out here? Yeah, I see Jose JG's live right now. Let's see, 145.5. What? Well, let's see what happens. $222. think I'm going to reverse these things one more time when we get to this extreme. Because we got more than enough oscillation here to predict a resting point. Mr. Cudley in the chat says, thanks to Maxwell, Hertz, Lodge, Marconi, we understand the electromagnetic wave, including its polarization, reflection, refraction, and interference. Yes, we do. I claim we do not know as much about gravity. I don't think I would disagree with that. In fact, this very thing that we're measuring here is by far the least precise of all the physical constants that we're aware of. Would you agree with that? No, Spiro, we have proven that mass attracts mass, though. So we'll let it go about 30 seconds past this extreme point. And then I'm going to move the weights back up in the other position. 145. Cavendish did a bunch of tests like this. Well, not a bunch of them, but some of them, where he went back and forth this way. I've been interested. I haven't really done that before. I'm interested. It'll be interesting to see what it does. See if it changes anything. Looks like a red dot, Coral. markers again. Let's see where this thing's going to go to. Yeah, I saw you guys talking about the laser dot and the size of it. And truthfully, I mean, if we were trying to get extremely precise measurements, obviously we wouldn't be having a big blob of red light like that. But for the accuracy of this, of the rest of this equipment, I'm not uncomfortable at all with a 5mm diameter dot. That's okay by me. It's not really going to hurt anything, because I can pick a spot on that dot and always measure to that same spot, and I won't be off by more than at most a 1/2 millimeter. And that's well within the accuracy that Cavendish was able to achieve reading his vernier. So, and that was the only objective. Yes, Carl, I put it in hyperspeed again. Just having fun. Yeah, thanks, Charlie. Of course, you would prefer to have a little pinpoint. That would be excellent if I had that. But I'm dealing with what I've got here. I'm not a laser guy. I don't know what sort of filters and lenses I would have to have. Didn't even bother looking into it, because after looking at what it did, I went through in my mind exactly what I just said to you guys. Okay, so the spot's 5mm in diameter. No problem, as long as I pick the bottom dead center of the spot, or the left edge of the spot, or the right edge of the spot, or the very center of the spot. As long as you just always measure to the same point, that's fine. And the accuracy is not going to be thrown off that much by it. Sorry about that. So Cavendish was able to read his scale to about 0.01 inches, 1/100th of an inch, and that's about 0.25 millimeters. And if I take out all the magnification involved here, I can read that scale up there to 1/2 millimeter. And in reality, that would be equivalent of about a 1/10 of a millimeter. So I'm better off than Cavendish was anyway, in terms of the ability just to read this stuff. Yeah, Dora, have another smoke. No joke, that's the problem. I need to stop doing that. Oh, I would point out too that what you guys are watching, of course, is a Logitech webcam representation of that laser spot. And when you see what it really looks like from that from the camera image itself, the dot is a hell of a lot cleaner. Hello, Kia. No. How are you? Hey, Rodent. See you in there too. I hear you, Dora. I don't understand intelligent people that smoke either. I really don't. I forgot to start the watch. So I guess we'll do it the hard way. Whoops. Yeah, kid, no, yeah, thanks for that. So you like the pyramid video, huh, Roden? I couldn't pass that up. That was just some funny stuff. Giants were eating electricity and gobbling up each other, except somehow all the little ones survived and mated with the Homo sapiens. I don't know. Hello, Clive. How are you? Yeah, I think a lot of people probably headed over to Jose's, maybe. Looks like all kinds of hysterical bullshit might be going on over there. Yeah, Carl, I'll see you later, buddy. I'm gonna have to recheck the positioning of these weights. That one on the far side is a good couple of millimeters too far out. This one over here looks pretty good, just from where I'm standing. I'm gonna check that again, because that makes a big difference in a hurry. Of all the things you have to get right, you've got to get the center to center distance of these masses correct, or you're just going to get garbage for data. Well, Cuddly, you think you saw the bar jiggling. What you saw was me removing my little gauge piece of wood that was laying up on top of it. The thing I used to check the distance between the weights and the cabinet, and that's what caused the bar to jiggle. Well, let's see what's happening here with our numbers. Yeah, this test is going to come up a little low on the value for G2, but I really got to re-verify these weight positions. That one, that weight on the far end is definitely too far out. That stop got moved or something. This one down on this end doesn't look bad. It's possible that the table got bumped. That's always possible. And that can account for it too. I'm gonna go have a look in the other end of the cabinet too and see. Yeah, zero's off just a little bit on the other end. I think I need to do a little bit of adjusting. The cat didn't do it, the dog might have done it. So, okay. Stream's in good shape anyway. That's some good news. Clive, we'll see you later, buddy. Take care. Well, let's see what the dot's doing. And the camera's got about 46 frames left on it. Which is about 15 minutes. So as soon as that's done, I think I'll wrap it up. Put these things back in neutral, let everything settle down for a while. And then do some adjusting maybe tonight. Well, as we all know, Cuddly, cats prove the earth cannot be flat. Cats would have knocked everything off of it by now. So you gotta go, huh, Dora? right, good evening to you. This will not last much longer. My backside is getting tired sitting on this wooden stool out here. I bought this old wooden stool intentionally to be uncomfortable because I didn't want to get in the habit of trying to sit down and do woodworking. Now I'm starting to rethink my position. Oh, Dora, NASA doesn't give me enough show money for a lazy boy. Hey, be good. So let's see. We're going to get down to this lower extreme. And then part way into the next cycle, I think. About the time we run out of film. Well, not out of film, but you know what I mean. Let's see what we got left. Yep, 8 minutes left. So this will be the last one that makes any difference. As far as the time lapse goes. No joke, Judy. If I was curled up in a lazy boy, I probably would have been asleep by now. That's going to be the last point, 161. We'll need to set that silly thing again. That's at 1528. So now we just got a few more minutes of letting the camera run over there till it finishes. So I think, let's see what time we got. Yeah, we're 3 hours and 28 minutes into this stream. I believe that I'm going to bid you, fine ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you happen to be. And we'll try this again sometime over the weekend. I want to do some, like I said, I want to do some adjusting on this thing. I think we're a little bit out of line. And those distances make a big difference in the value of G that you're measuring. So I need to reconfirm all this stuff. I thought I checked it in all the positions, but obviously something moved because that far end is off. I'd say the better part of 1/4 of an inch. So we got to do something about that. All right. Yes, Eric, I have pizza left. I certainly do. Anybody else got anything for me in the chat before I leave? Okay, well that's it. I've had fun as always. You guys have a safe Friday evening or Saturday morning or whatever it is for you right now. And I'll catch you on the next one.